Hello everyone, welcome to Electrical Spark. In this lesson we will study about single phase full wave control converter with RLE load or motor load. DC motor is the RLE load. So here we are having four thyristors T1, T2, T3 and T4. This is the source. Vs is equal to Vm sin omega t, and this is the output. Means we need to find out, or we have to draw the waveform of output voltage, then output current, then voltage across the devices. Here the extra thing is we are having one DC source in the load. In the previous video we are having only RL load, and here the extra we are having a constant DC source in the load. So here we have to keep in mind that if E is greater than this Vs, so the thyristors will not turn on. Means if VAB or Vs is greater than this E, when it will be greater than this E, then only the thyristor will be in forward biased condition. So here it is, this is the waveform, this is positive voltage VAB, and the dotted portion is the negative voltage VBA, and this is the constant DC source present in the load. The magnitude is E here. So here you can see up to theta 1, this is the angle theta 1, and this is the angle, it is theta 2. So up to theta 1, this Vs is less than this E. So if Vs is less than E, thyristor must be in reverse bias condition. Reverse bias condition, because E is greater than Vs there. But when Vs is greater than E, then T1 and T2 will be conduct. So here after this theta point, wherever we can turn on the thyristor, but before theta we can't turn on the thyristor. So here it is, we are providing the gate pulse here at an angle alpha. Then when we are providing the gate pulse, so starting from this Vs or point A, then T1 load, T2 back to B or Vs. This is the closed path of the current. So the voltage across the output means V0 must be how much? So here T1 and T2 are in turn on condition, means it will be the short path. So entire supply voltage VAB will appear across the load. VAB will appear across the load. So suppose for example this is Vs, then T1, then the load is R, L and E, then the path is T2 back to V. This is point A, this is point B, this is T1 and this is T2, and this is V0, this to this point. So if T1 and T2 both are in on condition, so it will be the short path. Voltage across these devices are 0. So V0 must be is equal to this Vs. So that's why this much of voltage will appear across the load. Here I am drawing it separately. Then due to the inductor, it will release the energy up to some time through the same path, and for that we are getting the negative voltage here, and here also we have to assume that the inductor will release the energy up to the next gate pulse. So that's why this much of voltage we have in the negative. So at this point VBA is more positive now, means supply voltage is reverse. Point B is positive with respect to A. So here also the same thing, when E will be greater than this VBA, after that we can turn on the thyristor. So here this is the next gate pulse for T3 and T4. So starting from point B, T3 load, T4 back to A. This is the closed path for the circuit. So obviously here also the same thing, V0 must be is equal to Vs, or here it is VBA. So this much of supply voltage will appear across the load like this here. Again we have to assume inductor will release its energy up to the next triggering pulse. Again the next one like this. This is the waveform for output voltage. So this to this waveform we are getting due to T1 T2 is turning on. Again here it is T3 T4, then T1 T2 and T3 T4 and so on. This is the output voltage. So the initial portion must be like this. Assume continuous conduction. So T3 and T4 is conducting before. So that's why this much of this is the mirror image of this one. Again here we can see in all the cases current is continuous. When current is flowing through a load T2 B. Again current is flowing due to this inductor in the same path. So that's why current never touches the zero line here. So due to the source it should be increasing, due to the load decreasing, then source increasing, decreasing. This is the waveform for current. Current is continuous here. Then if you go for voltage across the devices, so as you know, when one device is in unconditioned, device is unconditioned means its voltage must be 0. It is shorted. So from this to this point T1 T2 is conducting, that's why this to this is 0. Then before that T1 T2 must be in forward blocking state. So one forward voltage will appear across the device. So this is the forward voltage. Again after this VAB is in the negative half cycle, means voltage must be reverse bias condition. Thyristors must be in reverse bias condition. That's why this much of reverse voltage will appear across the device. So this is the reverse voltage here. Again forward blocking mode. Again it is conducting mode. This is the voltage waveform of devices T1 and T2. Then if we will go for T3 and T4, this initial portion is due to T3 and T4, means here T3 and T4 was conducting. So if it is conducting means its voltage must be 0. Then after that from this to this point we are having the negative voltage because T3 and T4 is in reverse bias condition there, because T1 and T2 is conducting from this to alpha to pi. So in that case T3 and T4 is in reverse bias condition. So this much of reverse voltage or VBA will appear across the device. So this is. After that it should be in forward blocking state. It is reverse blocking, forward blocking, and from this point T1 T3 and T4 starts conducting up to this point. So up to 2 pi plus alpha it is conducting, means its voltage must be 0. Again reverse blocking, again forward blocking. So this is the voltage of T3 and T4. So now we studied about V0, output voltage, output current, voltage across the devices in this case. Then coming to the average output voltage of this circuit. So here one cycle of output voltage means we are getting from 0 to pi here, because from pi again another same cycle or same waveform is repeating. So the cycle for this V0 is 0 to pi, and we are getting the output or limit must be alpha to pi plus alpha. This to this much of voltage we are getting at the output. So here it is V0 is equal to 1 by pi integration of Vm sin omega t d omega t alpha to pi plus alpha. This is the limit. So finally the integration of sin omega t is equal to minus cos omega t, and we are putting all the values here. Finally we will get V0 is equal to 2 Vm by pi cos alpha. This is the value of the average output voltage when we are taking a RLE load in single phase converter circuit. So here this type of circuit we are using for speed control of DC motor, or it is DC drives. And when we are studying about this converter or rectifier circuits, our aim is to convert AC into DC. We are converting AC to DC. So that's why when we are going for single phase half wave converter, in that case we are getting the output voltage like this. means we are getting the output voltage having one pulse in the output circuit. So that's why single phase half wave converter is known as one pulse converter. One pulse converter. But when we are going for single phase full wave converter, we are getting the output voltage. We are getting the output voltage like this. Means in one cycle of input voltage, we are getting two output voltage pulses. So that's why full wave rectifier is known as two pulse converter. Two pulse converter. But our aim is to, we have to find out the DC, or we have to convert PODC. We have to convert AC into PODC. So it is the pulsating DC. The waveform we are getting here, it is pulsating DC. So we have to use filter circuits for converting this pulsating DC into PODC. So here, if we will increase the number of output pulses, so it will convert towards more DC. So that's why if the output voltage will be like this, suppose will be like this, so it is now more DC. And if the output voltage will be like this, it will be coming towards more DC. So our aim is to find out, or it is convert AC into PODC. So that's why we have to increase the number of pulses. If we increase the number of pulses, then the DC, we will get more DC output voltage. So that's why we will go for three-phase converter circuits. That will be in the next video. In the next lesson, we will discuss about three-phase converter. Thank you. If you like this lesson, give it a big thumbs up by hitting the like button. To know more about power electronic converters, you can subscribe to my channel by clicking the subscribe button. Happy learning! Don't forget to write down your valuable feedback in the comment box. I will see you in another lesson.